It's like a horror movie.
1,000-year-old Native American remains, revealing decades of bad behavior by a powerful institution in an investigation by NBC News and ProPublica.
I think if we've seen a movie where people are digging up graves today, what would we think? Would we allow it now for the sake of science and research? I don't think so. It's illegal.
The University of California, Berkeley's Phoebe A. Hearst Museum is currently housing about 9,000 indigenous remains.
They wanted to emulate and be competitive with the Smithsonian and Harvard and the British Museum. And to do that, they created an archaeology and anthropology program that also got into the business of plundering native grave sites.
But in 1990, after tribes lobbied for the return of their ancestors, the federal government passed NAGPRA, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act.
Institutions like Berkeley were then required under this legislation to speedily repatriate human remains back to the tribes and the native organizations that requested them.
But some institutions did not work speedily. According to ProPublica, 200 institutions had repatriated none of the 14,000 native remains in their collection as of last December. Institutions like Harvard and the American Museum of Natural History still have remains in their possession. But UC Berkeley has by far the most.
How would you describe the role that Berkeley has played?
#1 bad actor in the state of California.
In the case of the Chumash tribe in Northern California, they fought to get 1,400 of their ancestors repatriated from UC Berkeley for nearly a decade. Sam Cohen and Nakia Zavalia, who led that fight, say it took that long because of stonewalling by the university.
We're talking about returning our ancestors back home that were stolen from their graves as long ago as the late 1900s.
And when they finally arrived to claim the bodies of their ancestors,
we found them in rows of shelves. At times, the skulls separated from the rest of the body.
What was it like to see your ancestors in bins on shelves scattered about?
It was horrific. I can't believe that practice ever existed, to go out and unearth human remains, to take them back to a lab or to a higher education institution or museum for them to evaluate.
But the Chumash tribe's battle with Berkeley didn't end there. After their 1,400 ancestors were returned to them in 2018, the tribe later learned that others had been left behind. UC Berkeley notifying the Chumash people that 6 more remains were found in a lab in 2020. And to date, there are still more missing, the tribe has learned. UC Berkeley declined an interview with NBC News and ProPublica, but acknowledged in a statement it had, quote, mishandled its repatriation responsibilities, saying, quote, the campus privileged some kinds of scientific and scholarly evidence over tribal interests and evidence provided by tribes. UC Berkeley, a powerful progressive institution reckoning with its past.
Berkeley has learned how to talk the talk of repatriation, but is still resisting actual Native American human remains repatriation, and they need to be sanctioned.
The Chumash say this fight is far from over.
You know, Native Americans have been oppressed and put on reservations and often told what to do, knowing the fight that my ancestors had to have, the fight that my grandmother had, my mother had, and now the fight that we have as the next generation.
And now you're fighting for them.
Now we're fighting for them, yes.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.